Greetings, everybody. My name is Rayvenwing, and welcome back to this work in progress. In this episode, we'll be looking specifically at the progress that I already have done. This is the build tour, which is my chance to catch you up on what I already have built, what I plan to build, and some of the lore that I decided on before I started recording properly. Hopefully, this will give you a starting point for whatever comes along down the line, and hopefully it'll make some of my rambling about future ideas make a bit more sense. And if it doesn't, or if there's something in particular that I missed that you're curious about, consider leaving a comment down below. I will try to answer the ones I can, and it might give me some new ideas. Anyways, let's begin the tour. We'll start with the tower itself, in particular its base, because that's kind of where this all started. So this is the first room I built, both in the lore and in the literal building of this project. This is my storage, this is my project area, it's where my bed is. Oh, it's nighttime. I guess we're taking a nap. And all of my sticky note signs with all my ideas everywhere. I did later add a basement, there's not much to it, it's just my mud machine, which is based on a tutorial done by, I believe it was Ilmango. I will link it in the description if I remember. And then my nether portal, of course. I do have ideas to upgrade this, make it a little prettier. Because technically I'm not having any problem fitting everything, I just keep on adding more chests. But it's a little bit of a mess. I will get to that eventually, that will probably be a future episode, to be honest. Or it's just something I'll be in the mood for and I'll hammer it out myself. But, yeah, it's a big old room. This is where I started. This is when I first kind of set up, like, I'm going to build something here. I decided to start with this tower. That was a pretty early part of this process, is that, you know, it's a big, intimidating thing. And I needed to make a bunch of decisions about shapes and sizes and where to put things, and that was a lot. And so to start the project off, I decided that I would kind of start it like it would have formed in the creation of the city. And I decided that it started with this tower. Thus, I figured out the size of that this room was going to be. And I built it up out of sandstone, and then that looked really plain, and so I added these patterns that I just kept on changing things in and out to make it look kind of cool. I think it went like half a level up from here originally. It did not have a roof for a while, to be honest, but as soon as I had it formed, I brought my stuff in here, I brought my bed in here, and this became my sort of home base. Because that's kind of the idea with the lore. Basically, this city started as just somewhere for someone to set up. It was this character that's sort of represented by this Minecraft skin, this Raven, however you want to call her. I decided that she's a traveler. She's an explorer. She's an adventurer. She likes to find things and discover things and collect things. I'm a bit of a loot goblin, so that might transfer over. And usually she would just set up temporary bases, quick bases, places where she can sort of touch down, rest, keep her things in between adventures, just somewhere to be safe. And usually those are temporary, but I thought that maybe she was thinking of building something that could last a bit longer, of building a more permanent home where even as she wanders further and further and finds new things and explores new places, there could be one place that she returns back to whenever she needs a longer break, or just somewhere to keep her large quantities of stuff. That too. Um, and I've decided that this character, I'm still figuring out the exact origins that she comes from, her exact family. I have decided that she has wings. Gray wings, actually, so these are pretty fitting. And her initial efforts to find somewhere started out in a nearby village, where she was just kind of hanging out in that area because it seemed nice and it was somewhere where, you know, there's already structures, there's already people, there's already resources, and she can trade and do things. But the villagers didn't really know what to do around a person with wings. They didn't really know how to handle that. It wasn't necessarily them being like trying to chase her out with pitchforks and torches and things like that, or it wasn't anything that extreme. But there's that sort of lingering unease that they just didn't know what to do. But basically, she was temporarily set up in a village. The villagers weren't really sure what to do with her. They were polite enough, but that was about it. And she didn't want to live there long term. And she'd built enough places that she decided to build her own between two of these villages. And it started with this room. It started with this tower. And as she continued to use this place, as she continued to make it a place that could be a home for her, other people eventually started showing up. You had merchants who would visit because she would be a customer or someone that she met during her travels. You had friends of hers who would drop by for a little bit. And eventually they too started building these little temporary homes, these little like places just to be in between all the travels. And that would eventually evolve into the city. And there is a little bit of an ongoing theme of many of these people and creatures not being quite human or being part human, or there being some magic involved. I'll get into that a little bit more later, but that's the basic idea, is that this character was just trying to first find and then build a home. And it started here. It started with this very, very messy storage room. Okay, so that's the general idea. Sort of honestly, it's kind of the base of the base, but also the base of the tower at the same time. It's multiple types of bases. We are really covering our bases here. I'm sorry. If you don't like puns, you might want to leave now, because there will be puns. I guarantee there will be puns. Anyway, here's our baseline. From here, let's just go up. Now, very impressive little back room. I'm gonna keep my eyes down actually, because I feel like I like this room enough. Okay. This is one of my favorite rooms that I've built so far. It's not particularly impressive. It's not particularly useful. It's just kind of an in-between room. It's basically an entranceway, would probably be what you'd describe it as. But I feel like it kind of captures the vibe pretty well. Ta-da! I really like how this turns out. I think it looks very nice. Again, it's basically just an entranceway. It's just a room with staircases in it and some exits, but I love it so much. Yeah, I kind of built this in one sitting without a whole lot of thought behind it, and I'm very satisfied with it, and I kind of want to look back at this for inspiration for some of the later things, because I feel like this gets the feeling down pretty well. I want to use a lot of sort of the sandstone with it. It's kind of like pale, it's pretty plain, especially if I'm using the smooth sandstone. There's not much to it. Plus sort of the vibrant greens and the vibrant colors is kind of what I want to do. Yeah, so this is the entryway. The original concept was actually more of a throne room, but then I decided that I didn't really want to have a throne room. So this is what I got. To either side, there is a little gate with sort of a green gate of sorts, and I want to put a garden here, and or a nice little pond is the thought. I don't know how to make a garden though, so that will probably be some of me just figuring out how the heck to do that. A pond might be fun, then these can be stepping stones. But yeah, I want there to be like a pond and or garden on either side, because there's one over here too, except I haven't outlined it. Just a little space. That would be nice to have a little, like, maybe a covered little garden area with a water feature. It'd be very pretty. But yeah, this is the entryway. There's not a whole lot of lore here. It's just a big, pretty looking kind of grand room. That's an in-between space. And then kind of up here, if we relate to the garden thing, I kind of want to make this space, it's just between two rooms, into like some kind of a very zen kind of garden-y area. Again, bring some water in. some plant life, just a place where you could sit and just whew, get a breath. Bit of fresh air when in the hot desert. But up the staircase up here, first of all, you get a very nice view of the city in progress. And this is also a favorite room, because this is the library. Anyway, it's a little crowded looking, but that's kind of the idea. It's just stacks of books and also some slight little bit of skulk. You know, add some kind of weird pseudo-magic-y thing. But yeah, so we've got big old shelves, we got an enchanting table. We've got lapis and books and grindstones over here. We got a bunch of chipped bookshelves interdispersed. I kind of want to throw some books around just to add different colors. Plus, we've got bookshelf ladders with little walkways. You can come around here. It's very nice. I love it. I love building libraries. It's just so fun. I almost wish there was a bit more color variation in the bookshelves, but I might just add more chipped bookshelves and just make sure to do some of the other colors that way. I'm not sure, but anyway, this is the library. I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory. It's storage and collection of books found across the lands. Maybe some journals that were written of the adventures. And then behind here, you can go up, you can see a higher up view of the library from above. And up here you have a workshop. Sort of a place where you can brew some potions, research strange things, find cool stuff. It's one of my favorite Minecraft flowers right there. This is a very weirdly shaped room because again it's an in-between the library and the next level, but it's also where I've been storing my enchanted books. Though there's some I have to sort through. I have a lot to sort through. I'm not a very good librarian apparently. So I have the current map of the city. Yeah, it's a little area, it's a little workshop. And then finally up here is this dome. They recently added all the trapdoors in. And up here is the bedroom. Again, I'm working with a pretty small space. It's pretty cramped. But I kind of like this. It's a little nook. It's like a reading nook, but it's a bedroom. Honestly, that is my dream. We got some barrels for storage of personal things and little trinkets that have been kept from various adventures. We've got bookshelves for the important books that you don't want to have in the main library. We've got the chipped bookshelf so we can actually put books if we want. We got some more flowers, we got some more skulk, because I think it's pretty. Got a bit of amethyst up here, because again, I think it's nice. And again, got a nice little bed. Little loft bed. Again, it's nighttime, so I guess we're sleeping. And I'm fairly proud. It's not a very big space, but I feel like I made it fun at least. There's end rods up here for lighting as well. Look around the outside, you can see that there are trapdoors. I feel like I'm going to use a lot of the copper trapdoors. I like the color, and they're very nice. They fit the vibe. So yeah, this is the tower currently. Tower currently. Ow. I don't have my feather falling on. I'm gonna put my feather falling on so I don't die. Yeah, so this is the current state of the tower. There's still, I'm sure there could be some changes and improvements beyond the storage room, but that's that idea. So now from the top of the build currently, let's go down to the lower points. This will eventually be the Undercity. The story I previously mentioned about how people would start to drop by. So when those merchants and travelers and people who decided to visit this place or were friends with Raven, when they visited frequently enough or decided to set up a home here, it would be here. It'd be kind of next to and near the tower. It'd be at this level, because this is where the city started, is at this level. So like these spaces would be filled with these initial residents, these initial merchants, these initial people who lived here. This will all be about this level eventually. I need to add to this one. This does mean that whenever I start building some of these structures, like I do want to make, like the potion cart that I built in the last episode, their house is going to be somewhere near here, probably pretty close, because they're an original friend of Raven. I will need to clear out this area a bit to make room. And eventually, I do need to move these sheep. I have an idea of where to put them. I need to move this wheat field. I don't really know where to put it, but I can put it back up if I need it again. This is me attempting redstone. I actually did not look up a tutorial for this. I based it on the countless times I've seen other people build either bamboo farms or sugarcane farms, and I've figured it out. I'm not a huge redstone person. I figure you should probably know that. I'm not a huge redstone person. I only vaguely understand some of the core concepts. It took me way too long just to figure out how to make a redstone signal go down. That's probably not the most efficient way of doing it, but it's the way I did it. But look, I got a double-decker sugarcane. I got bamboo. There's a card underneath it. And it does, in fact, work. I do have stuff. So I have succeeded. This will eventually be the farm behind the green sticks stall and shop. So once I'm ready to do the green sticks shop, I'm basically just going to be putting it up there. So I'm just going to have to move this whenever I get around to that. And then this is my test wall. Whenever I was playing around with the gradient for the main outer wall, this is where I was playing with it. This is where I experimented. This is where I decided on certain elements. This is where I kind of trial and error happened here. But I am eventually, probably soon, gonna have to take down the test wall. So moment of silence for test wall. Anyway, so besides the eventual clearing of the sheep, which I'm going to move to the wool merchant's home, which is on the list to build, the wheat farm I'm probably just going to take down, and then if I need it again, I'll put it up somewhere else, because it's in the way. Test wall I will also have to take down probably sooner rather than later, because I kind of want to do the green sticks shop, which is going to be right there, which also means we're going to be moving this redstone up there to be part of the shop. But on top of those changes, I've got some digging to do. So in order to fit this whole area under the upper part of the city, I needed to dig. And I've already done a lot of digging. You can sort of see the shape I've dug out. But I've already done a lot of digging. Initially I was just gonna have it come down to here and then go straight out from here. But this wasn't enough space. And so I've dug down again. And I'm probably gonna dig down at least one more time to just create these tiers, which I think it'll be interesting to implement a bunch of like walkways and ladders and staircases and ways to get up and down from all of these different tiers of this Undercity. And I think it will be a very interesting challenge, and I have a bunch of ideas for sort of the aesthetic of it. It's gonna be a little different from the upper area. But I haven't really started actually building anything down here because I've gotta dig all of this. I've gotta dig all of this up until the edge of the wall, and then all of that go down another level or two. So, also I don't think there's a ladder. Nope, there's a ladder. I'm glad that I can predict myself. Also, you can ignore my aging of copper area. Okay, and then over here, we have the sewer. Obviously this is mostly just, outlines. This is just kind of a pathways of some potential branches. There's the sticky note signs everywhere. But I want to have a bit of a complex sewer system in at least this section, kind of past this wall to that wall. Because I want this to be a way to get from the Overcity to the Undercity, and the people who know about the Undercity will usually know of a sewer entrance. Or they will have one in their shop or in their home or under their shop or home. Again, it is a lot of in the planning stages right now. I don't have a lot figured out. In fact, this whole area is where I was playing around with path types and gradients, which is also a thing I need to take down at some point. I want to move these gradients, though. Those could be useful. But see, this is kind of what I mean when I really like the contrast of this green with the sandstone quite a bit, so I want to use this a lot. But yeah, the sewers, I don't have a lot. I have some outlined rooms like this. I will eventually switch this out. It's not going to be stone. This is a more complete tunnel. Again, I want to add in details. I want to switch out some mossy cobble and mossy stone, and maybe some tuff in some places. I want to add some plant lights, moss. I want to add some lichen. I want to add lighting besides just literal torches. I want to add some bits of water overhead so that it drips occasionally. I thought that would seem cool. There's also going to be branches off of this. And then this is going to be another room, which will give way to more branches. This will be a window into the Undercity. I eventually want to put this, or something very similar to this, on the other side as well. I just need to clear it first. But, like I said, for people who know about the Undercity, they either have an access point to the sewers or directly to the Undercity, or they know where one is to get back and forth. And this is not a final one, but general idea. Something like that. Now, we're up here. We're at Market Street. This, or something similar to it, would presumably be the entrance that the potion cart seller would use. I also have some potions in here now. And they usually just make sure to put the cart around here whenever they visit. Anyway, this is Market Street. I've sort of given the gist of it in the previous episode, but I am gonna build another line of stalls on this side, and then behind all of these, there's gonna be a bunch of shop fronts, and this is gonna be a pathway where people can come up and down behind the stalls and look at all the shops. Since they're selling their wares, this is where a lot of people would be. This is a very busy area. I want this to be a little bit crowded, not overcrowded, but lots of things happening. And then if you go past here, for one thing, if you circle down in here, I have this little area, which is where I'm hiding stuff. Again, it's getting to nighttime. But yeah, you come around here, and there's this little overhead area. I'm thinking that there might be a small stall, almost like an information booth. Just a smaller stall or booth might be here. This person is in the know about the Undercity. And so if someone wants access to the Undercity, they would talk to them, and then they'd open up this entrance to get down here. And you come around here, and if you go this way, I'm thinking of a shop that could go here. I'm thinking of something that could go on this side. And then over here you have a bit of a town square with a fountain. Or well, I guess might be more accurate, because not much of a water feature. But I'm gonna have houses and buildings and maybe some other shops coming all around here. And then if you go down here, the wool merchant's house is gonna be over here somewhere. This is also where the sheep will eventually go. And then here is where the wool merchant's shop is gonna be. Because here is where I have my sheep farm. It's getting me lots of wool. I've cleared these out a couple of times, but I've got just a color-coded little wool area that I'm gonna make look a lot nicer, don't worry. I will add details, I will give it walls, I will give it a nice floor. This is just I wanted to put it in place so that I had this farm going set up. It will improve once I get the idea for the aesthetic of the shop, because the shop will be out here, and then back here is where you get the stash. Yeah, this is kind of the idea for these front areas. The other one is less built out like this, but same idea. Because I want to take this and roughly mirror it over there. You can see the other well is over here. You see, the general idea will be the same, but there'll be different buildings, different shops. I don't know what I'm going to put in that area yet. I haven't decided. These side things also will eventually have a staircase to go all the way up to the next level, which, again, I haven't done yet, but there's the rough part. And I'm going to have to come up with a lot of shops, a lot of houses, probably more characters to occupy them, and honestly, this Market Street and the surrounding town square areas will probably have the most progress for the next little while, because that's where I have the most immediate ideas and where I have the most foundation for where to put them and how to make them. We'll get to the other stuff eventually. We'll get to the Undercity eventually, but right now this is what we've got. I like having the water here because I feel like, again, this is a desert. This is supposed to be kind of an oasis in a few different ways. It's vibrant, it's full of life, it's full of water, it's full of people. It's a safe space, it's a safe place for a lot of people. And so there's a lot of water here, which is a running theme I want to include, especially in digging up the amount of the Undercity I have dug up. There's a lot of underground water sources I've found. There's a lot of submerged caves, and so I suppose that there's just a lot of underground aquifers that this is where people get their water from, which is, you know, good for world building to have, to know where the water comes from. And then with the down here covered, let's go up the stairs to the upper area. This is similar to the lower area. I kind of wanted to have a mix of shops and homes and other structures. This winding cobblestone path that you can see is a, let's go over here to get a better view. But yeah, this is the upper area. You can see why I need to take down that wall. It's a little bit in the way. But this winding cobblestone path you see around here is going to be a river. These lines across it in sandstone are going to be bridges, are going to be various smaller bridges. And between and around this space, I'm just going to have a couple more. Again, it's going to be shops, it's going to be buildings, it's going to be homes. I'm thinking that there will be a few gardens along the edges of, along this main road, maybe a couple of like kind of well-pruned trees and bushes. I kind of want to put a garden space along this edge of the wall as well, kind of a viewing area where you can walk around and it's very pretty, and then you can stare down into the rest of the bustling city. Beautiful. And this area is a bit rougher. I don't have as much figured out as firmly. I do have the start of a lumber yard over there. The outline of a house. I don't actually have the house built. And then the Green Sticks store and the owner's home is gonna be over there, kind of as a mirror. So just that chunk up here, basically. Figured out. I'll get around to it. Yeah, besides Green Sticks and the lumberyard, I kind of want to build like a public library because libraries are fun. I always love building those. I always have fun ideas for libraries. That'll be exciting. I also kind of want to build some kind of like an observatory figure that something maybe around the edges, either that edge or that edge of this upper area, would be a great place for a nice observatory. And I have a few other ideas that I'm throwing around of possible structures, buildings, shops that would maybe fit in. And then I could figure out sort of the history of all of them and what they do and how they work and where the people came from. You might have seen in previous clips, but I've been doing the walls here. Most of the stone is probably going to be taken out or replaced by the bricks at least. And that sort of star pattern on top I want to replace with a pattern like the ones I have in the tower. Okay, so we have this main area sort of covered, the general idea of it at least. So we'll come up here to the most put together part of the outer walls, which isn't much. The outer walls are quite large. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of materials to get these all done. I've just sort of been chipping away at it whenever I have a moment where I just want to turn my brain off and build some stuff. But as you can see, I have these outlines in stone where these walls will eventually end up. See the outlines. These two lines, this one's built in, this one's not, are going to eventually be walls. So you can see this one that has been built up is following these stone guides. This part will be the inside of the wall, and this will be the inner part of the wall. I guess this will be the inner part of the wall. This will be the in-between part. And I do have plans for what I want this area to look like. There'll be a few different levels. There'll be like an upper layer, which will be access for people using the tops of the walls. There'll be the main middle area, which I'm very excited for. I'm going to make it very lush and full of life and full of plant life and just essentially a park. And then there's going to be a lower Undercity area as well. This, I actually added this in recently, is just kind of the outer walkway, which I did in the cyan stuff, this little gradient. And I actually took it all the way around, but that's the general idea, honestly. I just have, you know, this big set of walls. I'm putting a city in it. I'm putting a city under it. It's hopefully going to be fun. I have a lot of ideas for individual shops and buildings. I have some things I am honestly stuck on and will have to figure out along the way. I'm very excited and very, honestly, a little bit terrified, and there's a lot of emotions in trying to tackle this project. But I'm more than anything, I'm excited to see where it goes. Sort of this vaguely fantasy world, this place with all these different characters and adventure and places to see and places to experience. Like I said before, if there's anything that you aren't very sure about or would like to know more about, I leave a comment. I'm not used to asking for comments, but I'd be overjoyed to be able to hear your thoughts and share my ideas and see what everyone thinks. But yeah, this is the city as it is currently. I will probably see a lot of changes as time goes on, and yeah, this is the current progress. This is the current state of this yet to be named city. I have a lot of plans, and you've seen some of them. You've seen the ones I've already started on or finished, and I hope you'll stick around and see the many more to come. This is my city so far. I hope you like it. I hope you stick around to see a bit more, and I hope I can figure it out and really bring it to life to fit what I'm imagining, because honestly, that's something I'd love to see. So if you like this, stick around, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!